welcome everyone to Sports Buzz. I am Zach Barnett, and we're joined in by Penny Hart, the receiver. Used to be with Seattle and Georgia State. He played with the Falcons also in the NFL. So let's get it rolling with a good one, Penny. Was football always the plan A for you?
Well, first off, man, appreciate you having me. You know what I'm saying? Excited to
Yep,
be here, man. We've been trying to get disconnected for a little while, just never
yep,
came around to it, but I'm glad we're able to be here. But
absolutely.
yeah, man, football has always been something that I truly loved and, you know, something that I knew could bring a change to, how I was living and my family's life. And, so we here today, sitting on all of those blessings and the fruit of the labor, man.
Absolutely. So scrolling it forward to your NFL journey with Pete Carroll, uh, the
Mhm.
Seahawks. What was some of the biggest lessons that you learned from Pete? I know he is pretty. He's a player's coach, and
Mhm.
he's relatable. But what was the biggest lessons that
Yeah.
Pete taught you?
I think some of the biggest lessons, just able to be around him is just continuing to enjoy the process. You're gonna have, moments where you're gonna have your hiccups, you're gonna have your speed, but I think that he was those people that really mastered the art of life, just rolling with the punches. And I think that collectively, everybody a part of that culture and those teams were a representation of just, that as well. We all came into that program all having the same understanding of just wanting to win, and winners at the end of the day, you just roll with the punches, man. No matter what happens, don't get too high, don't get too low. Just roll with the punches and enjoy it because it's all just making you better at the end of the day.
Absolutely. That receiver room in Seattle was pretty stout with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
Mm.
With those guys being in that room with you, how did they make you better as a player?
I think that they didn't necessarily make me better as a player, but those guys is just brothers. I
Hmm.
think that we all collectively really appreciated how we were as men, and I think the drive to continuously pushing each other made us better men. At the end of the day, we all had really different skill sets. I don't think I could ever be DK. I could never be Tyler. I could never be Demo. I could never be Cody Thompson, D. Eskridge, all of the different guys that were in a lot of those different rooms. But I think collectively, all of our mindsets of just wanting to be better, we pushed each other to be the best that we individually could be. So as much as I would have wanted to be able to jump as high as DK and, snagging balls over people's heads, or just, being able to run a slant route and hurting other people without
Yep.
being seen as they hit me, like DK would do, or those toe taps that Tyler would do, you know what I mean? And just
Hmm.
catching every ball. At the end of the day, we all continue to help each other with the specific skill sets that we had of just carving it out, and iron and sharpening iron as men.
Definitely. I don't know if you've been looking at the Seahawks now. What DK and Tyler aren't there anymore. So with that,
Yeah.
how do you think they're going to replace those two guys besides uh, Jackson Smith and Jigba? I think that's his
Mhm.
last name. Besides him, how do you think they're going to replace DK and Tyler Lockett?
I mean, there is no replacing guys of that caliber. Those are two future Hall of Famers in my book,
Yeah.
and especially two Seahawks legends. But I think that, John Schneider and the team over there, they know exactly what they're doing. Schneider has done a really well job of being able to put together winning teams and, you know, the confidence is in him to be able to get it all done. I know everybody, all the 12s and all the other Seahawks legends and former people like myself are waiting to see what'll be able to happen. But I think that they have it all under control. And at the end of the day, just signing Sam Darnold, and having Jackson and Jigbo over there doing his thing and being young, and he's going to be a great leader for that group.
Definitely. I like with Sam Darnold going there. They should just kept Geno Smith, to be completely honest with you.
I
Well,
mean,
what's your take on that?
look, man, the honestly,
They're pretty comparable
I
players,
I
man.
honestly I find it really cool that Gino is over there with the Raiders, man. Back there with Pete, you know what I mean? Like
That's true.
it's and personally for me, it's so much bigger than the game, man. Like just being able to have that connection. You never know in terms of the league, like if you ever gonna be able to link back up with a coach or another teammate or just somebody that you really admired. So just to have that be a process to be able to happen, like, Gino, all those years behind Russ that he was, and then getting an opportunity and Pete believing in him, and now them being able to come back together
Hmm.
again. Raiders are trying to make another surge to, revamp their program and get back on a winning culture, man. Like that's the coolest part to me. But I think, Sam Darnold, he kind of fell in the same reins as, having that story, his comeback story. So,
Definitely.
I think that the Geno culture of the comeback story, you know what I mean, over there in Seattle is something that's brewing. So Sam Darnold is about to bring in a whole nother taste of that. So shout out to him.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, on my podcast, I like to end with the 5 words that best describe this thing. So, what are the best 5 words to describe the 12th man in Seattle?
Committed, passionate, um, loving, uh, man, dedicated and fun. Yeah.
I
That's
hear
what
you, man.
yeah, that's
Hey,
what I got. Look, the 12s, no fans like them. Um, no family like them, even going throughout the city. I'll go back still to this day and they show me immense amount of love, man. It's beautiful. But the 12s, man, they know exactly who they are, and the whole Seattle family. Love all of them.
definitely. Hey, with DK and Tyler Lockett leaving there, they might give you a phone call, man.
I mean, I don't know. I'm done moving these legs like that right now, man. I just decided to retire back in November, so I'm done with it. I'm on to some other things. I got a consulting business now doing contract management that actually helps players understand the literacy in their contracts, whether that's endorsement
Gotcha.
contract, yeah, whether that's, salary-based contracts, just because in my second year I was able to do my own contract and not have an agent at the time. But what it
Mm,
was more just not having an agent because players can use my services as well, even with agents. But it opened up a part of my brain to just being able to educate myself on what my business is. So I think it's really important for all players and all athletes, like these contracts, know what you're reading. Know what you're bringing into your brand and what you're doing in your business, because not only will it just teach you about, the contract, but it'll teach you more about the capacity of your brain and what you have inside and being able to unlock that knowledge. So, you know what I mean? VBC Consulting Business. I got it in my Instagram. Y'all can go check that out, Penny Hart 19, or even VBC Consulting on Instagram as well. But man, yeah, we're here. I'm done playing football, but I'm not done serving. So
gotcha. Well, Penny Hart, man, it's been a blessing to have you on here today, and we'd welcome you back for another one on Sports Buzz.